Hey there folks, Phoenix Aurelius here. Thank you for joining us for this lab report for the month of October of 2021. We had a ton of things going on in October. Some of them were very lengthy projects. First thing in the lab, Jared took care of lots of different spagyric tinctures, getting them filtered, getting them ready to be on the shelves. They will be releasing in upcoming months. As you guys know, we release 5 a month, so we now have a store for probably, I don't know, I'd say 6 months or so. We also have a tremendous amount of elixirs that we're working on. The elixirs basically being the fixed sulfur infused salts that are, I don't really want to say a byproduct of the tincturing, but they are made also during that tincturing process. What we are able to do is to dry them out and use them as medicine in their own right. And we're performing some very strict IDF analysis around how many dried grams of each of those powders that we have and how to reconstitute them in what ratios of ethanol to water and so on and so forth for ideal preservation and maximum medicinal benefit. So we've engaged in a lot of research around that recently. That's pretty cool. Also, the spagyrizomal vitamin C, we started producing that. I think that actually began at the end of September, but we really didn't have a good supply until about the beginning of October. We are getting ready to, here in just a couple of days, announce a sale for Samhain. Samhain is extremely important over here for our own religious purposes. And it's also an astronomical time too, where it marks the end of one year and the beginning of another year. This was primarily practiced in Celtic nations, but it is an astronomical time. And so for us, it's probably the most magical and most important time of the year. And so we hold some of our biggest sales around Samhain. And those of you who've been with us for a long time know that all of the cross-quarter dates are really important to us. And so we have Belchinacels and Imbolc cells and other things like that. So yeah, at any rate, we've been prepping, and Jared has been really busy making a tremendous amount of liposomal and spagyrizomal vitamin C to stock up for that sale. And of course, all of our spagyrics are already stocked up as much as they're going to be. So yeah, we're feeling pretty ready for that. In the early part of the month, I worked on multiple different COVID-19 clients, which is interesting because we had a lull for quite a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, several more came on. Worked on some from Oregon, some from Utah, a couple of other places too that escape my mind at present. It was interesting though, because that round of research ultimately led into a lot more realizations. And what I'm currently seeing is that diseases that happen with the planet, i.e., the lack of oxygenation and other things like that, tend to have microcosmic ramifications on people who live on that planet, which leads me to think, like, what is the link between that? And so I've started looking at an epigenetic link. We know that many genes actually adapt to the environment. Epigenetics is a relatively new area of study. It's only been around for 20 years or so, and at least with a lot of in-depth information in it. And so it's still in its infancy. There's still a ton to discover. I don't have any definitive answers right now, but I am looking into that area to try and see how our environment can actually influence our genetics to create diseases that are currently theorized to be due to viral conditions or viral infections. So just trying to see if there's other ways and other perspectives of being able to look at that besides modern contagion theory, which I feel is not very scientific and doesn't have a lot behind it based on all of the evidence, reading, and also experimentation that I've done over the past 20 months or so now. Let's see, we also took a week-long family vacation to Orlando. We went to Walt Disney World. Don't suggest that, but we also went to Universal Studios and did the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It's where I scored myself this awesome hat here, feeling more like a wizard than ever with it. But yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic month because we got some time in and got to spend it with the family. And mobbing those parks every day, though, it actually made us feel like we needed a vacation from the vacation. It was not as much of a vacation as what a person might think, but our daughter had turned 11 last year, and we wanted to take her during her 11th birthday because that's when you get your acceptance letter to Hogwarts, but COVID put a damper in that, so we had to go this year, and it was fun. It was a good time. Disney World was lame, lots of mask wearing. It was really harsh, super expensive, totally dumb. It's definitely not the most magical place on earth. Let's see, we also did a bunch of interviews this month and podcasts. I got to interview Matthew Wood, which is cool. He's, a very famous herbalist, been around for, at least 2 decades that I've been aware of. And I've many of his books, I've been inspired by his entire school of thought. So I think that that was really awesome for me. We also talked about his book, The Extracellular Matrix, which will be coming out here soon. Some skittish quail in the background. Most of this month, since we got back from Florida, I have been working on the finishing touches of our astronomological calendar. Astronomological, it's a lot. We'll be talking more about this in future videos and stuff. But basically, this is an astrological calendar using the same exact calculations that Athan Chimenti uses in his Mastering the Zodiac courses, and also on his website. So that's all of that information will be on there. We also have all of the moon positions, whether it's ascending, descending, when all the node points are, tons of astronomical information, including when meteor showers are, all of the astronomical dates of solstices, equinoxes, etc., as well as the actual astronomical cross-quarter dates. It's full of virtually all of the largest religions and their observances, most governmental observances in English-speaking nations. Tons and tons and tons of information has gone into this. I've had to pull from dozens of sources in order to cross-reference everything and put it all together, but this is the same calendar that we use here at the Phoenix Aurelius Research Academy to determine when do we need to plant, when do we need to transplant, when do we need to harvest, when do we need to extract things, so on and so forth. And I figured that it would actually be of benefit to provide that to the public. So it's been a huge undertaking. We have a pre-sale for it going on right now. I'm hoping that it takes off. It's definitely the most advanced calendar to date, especially for people who are into astrology and or astronomy. And yeah, it's basically the most important thing that a person can do is learn all of those natural cycles. I've said, pardon me, I've said it for years. And so now it's being able to provide a resource so that people can take that one step further without being an astronomer or astrologer themselves, and have a guidebook basically to look at. Yeah, aside from that, just been preparing for upcoming sales. That calendar is really taking the most out of me. I'm still working on it as we speak. It will be going to the publishers either the end of this week or the beginning of next, so I'm excited for it. It's been a huge production. We started production, I think, in April, and just finishing it up now. So I'm sure there's probably more. I always forget things and then remember them after I shoot these videos, but I think that that's a pretty good summary of the biggest projects that we've had going on. Again, thank you for all of your support, every purchase that you make, every time that you listen to our podcast and share our podcast, use our affiliate links, all these things that help support us and continue our mission of research in the 21st century. So thanks again.